It's November, and here are 5 baits that I think that you need to be throwing all month long. Hey everybody, it's Ryan here at Fish North Georgia, and here we are at the very 1st of November, and that means that temperatures are cooling off. We got water temperatures in October that typically stay up in the upper 60s, low 70s, moving into the mid 60s. But now that we are here in the month of November, water temperatures are going to fall even more than that. We're going to be looking for that little key 60-degree water temperature style. That is when the bass really just start kind of mainly gorging themselves even more than they already have been on bait. They move into the backs of these creeks, they move onto these flats. All they're thinking about is bait, bait, bait. Feed up, get ready for the winter. And this entire month of November, you've got 5 baits that I think you need to be throwing, and I know that all 5 of these will put you some fish in your boat, kayak, from the bank, whatever it may be. So let's start out with number 1, and it is my personal favorite for the month of November, and that is a spot choker. This is the Spot Choker Pro Model Series. It has a screw lock back here that really holds no matter what kind of soft plastic that you throw. My personal favorite is a Kitech. I like Kitechs. 3.3, 2.8s, don't really matter. It just depends upon whatever the fish are wanting to feed on at the time. Are they feeding on little bitty shad? Are they feeding on bigger shad? For you guys that fish the herring lakes, do they like to be feeding on the little bit bigger herring? It all depends upon the situation that you're fishing in. A spot choker is something that is going to continue to stay on the deck of my boat from last month all the way through until the springtime of next season. What I like about a spot choker, it is an underspin, okay? But with the screw lock keeper, it will hold your softer Kitechs, flukes, whatever it may be. You'll be able to catch multiple fish on these. You'll be able to really budget your money a little bit better, where a pack of Kitechs will go a lot farther for you. So number 1 for me is a spot choker. My personal favorite size for November is a 3/8 ounce, just like this one right here. The second favorite bait, and they work 1-2 combo for me, and that is a True Grit Tackle ditch digger. This is just a football head. That's all it is. Got a 4/0 hook. We put a 3.3 Kitech on it. There are some days where they don't want the blade of the underspin like the spot choker. Sometimes they just want nothing but this ball head with a Kitech or a swim bait coming off the back of it. You throw it out there, you put it down on the bottom, you just slow roll it back real slow. The fish will let you know in the first couple casts if they want to bite it. True Grit Tackle Ditch Digger is definitely one of my favorite things to do when I'm not throwing the spot choker. Number 2, and you're going to see a little bit of a pattern with this. We're still swim baiting basically for the whole month of November, and that is a Georgia Blade Alabama rig. The Georgia Blade Alabama rig is a 1/2 ounce head. It's got blades on it right here, 5-wire style head. I put 5 little 1/8 ounce to 3/16 ounce jig heads on the clasp there, and I just put either like 2.8 or 3.3 Kitechs. The Alabama rig in November is one of my favorite baits to throw to catch a bunch of fish at one time, but also to get that real big bite. You got that big school of bait coming through there, the fish are wanting to feed on it, you chunk this Alabama rig out there and just get ready to hold on. It's something that on the herring lakes doesn't get thrown as much as you would think it does, but it actually is an absolute killer on the herring lakes. And of course, for those of you guys that already know, on the big shad lakes and the gizzard shad lakes, gotta throw an Alabama rig in November. Number 4, and it is probably one of the funnest bites that you can get for reaction feeding strikes from any kind of bass, especially spotted bass up here in the North Georgia mountain area on these herring lakes, and that is a jerk bait. This is specifically a Berkeley Stunna. We sell these here at our store here at Fish North Georgia, and I absolutely love the Stunnas, whether it's the 112 or the 112 plus 1. That all depends upon how deep, how shallow you're fishing, but the jerk bait is probably one of the favorite baits to throw. When we have these cold fronts come through, when we get some of those windy days that are pushing through, I reach for a jerk bait 9 out of 10 times, okay? Some of the honorable mentions that I have for the jerk bait, not just the Stunna, is the Megabass Vision 110 plus 1 and the Megabass Vision 110, okay? I also do like the Megabass Vision 110 plus 1 Junior model as well, but Go out there, wind-blown pockets, wind-blown points going into the mouths of some of these creeks. Throw a jerk bait around. You'll catch some big fish, and you might even catch 2 at one time if you don't watch it. So be ready for that. Number 5, and this is one that is near and dear to my heart, and I've caught hundreds upon hundreds of fish in the month of November, and that is a jig. Specifically, a True Grit Tackle fall crawl jig. The fall crawl just really emulates kind of what a lot of the crawfish kind of look like. They kind of have this orangey, brown, greenish color to them. You know, if you catch any, you see them spitting them up. Maybe they're in your live well, you're fishing a tournament, or you pick one up into the boat, net it, boat flip it, whatever it may be, and you look in the back of its throat, and there's some little bitty pincers sticking out of its gullet. They look very similar to this fall crawl, and I absolutely love the fall crawl. Pick you up a 3/8 ounce one, put you anything on there from probably one of my favorite ones to start out with is a Zoom Fat Albert twin tail grub trailer. The Yamamoto twin tails also, you know, even there's some instances where it was just for me this past weekend that I fished where I caught fish on the fall crawl jig, but I actually had a Strike King Rage Chunk trailer on the back, okay? I was skipping some docks with them. I'm looking for anything and everything, rock, docks, whatever, brush. I'm looking at anything from 15 feet or higher for the most part when I'm fishing this jig. I'm looking for multiple bites, but I'm really looking for that big bite. And a jig, this one specifically, the fall crawl, will get you some big bites in the months of November. And I do have one honorable mention that I do want to make. I know we do 5 baits, but I have one honorable mention that I want to hit on you guys. And that is something that you still need to throw, especially for you tournament fishermen out there that need to get a kicker fish. Throw a buzz bait still. Buzz baits, listen, they're feeding on shad. They're real shallow. The backs of these pockets, backs of these creeks. First thing in the morning, a buzz bait, you may not get a bunch of bites. You may only get 1 bite, but when you get a bite on a buzz bait, it should be a good fish, and that will put you a big largemouth or a big spotted bass in the boat for you. So keep a buzz bait as an honorable mention laying on the deck of your boat. Those are my top 5 baits for November. Utilize them, fish with them. I promise you, you'll get bit and you'll catch some fish all November long. Thank you guys, as always, for watching the video. If you like this content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button right there below on the bottom of this video for more content just like this from us here at Fish North Georgia.